Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Johnson-Simon, a volunteer interviewer for the City of Savannah's Municipal Archives. Today is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, and we're at the Learning Center of Senior Citizens, Inc. in Savannah, Georgia. As part of the Everyone Has a Story initiative of Savannah Community Memory Project and the Learning Center, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Charles O'Brien, known to many as Chip. Thank you, Chip, for sharing your story with us today. Let's get started. I'd like to start from the beginning. Can you tell me a bit about your early life? Give me your full name, where you were born, your family, and your childhood.
Well, thank you, Deborah. Good morning. I was born in January 1948 during the blizzard of 48 in Princeton, New Jersey. My full name is Charles O'Brien, but I've been called Chip, as you said, since I was a child. I grew up on a dairy farm in Somerset County, New Jersey, just about 15 miles northwest of Princeton. I was one of 5 kids, raised by my mother Ann, who was a homemaker, and my father Charles Russell, who was a farmer and also worked in consumer product marketing.
That's a fascinating beginning. I'm really excited to learn your story today. So let's go a little bit further and tell me about your educational journey. What was that like?
Should ask my teachers. I started out in rural public schools and then went to high school in the Lawrenceville School, after which I graduated and attended Dartmouth College for an undergraduate degree and took a master's of business at the University of Chicago. These were all great experiences and shaped my professional and personal outlook quite a bit.
Okay, let's move a little bit further and tell me about your career path. What was that like?
Arduous. I spent over 40 years working in finance with J.P. Morgan and Morgan Stanley, mostly out of New York. My work centered on helping clients with their corporate finance challenges and managing our company's risk profile.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were born in New Jersey. You spent a lot of time up north, as we say. And I'd like to know what brought you and your family to Savannah.
Well, after living in the New York suburbs for over 60 years and with our 2 children grown, my wife Melissa and I moved to Savannah part-time in 2002 and full-time in 2012. Some of Melissa's family was from rural Alabama, and she had fond memories of the South from her childhood visits down here. And so retirement seemed like a perfect time to begin a new chapter, and we found our home on Skidaway Island.
I think that's really interesting. And did you have any southern times? Did you come in the South? Because you coming with Melissa.
Yeah, no, I didn't have any.
Was it difficult for you?
I didn't have any southern roots, but I knew one thing, that I'm always happy when she's happy.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Okay, so tell me about the neighborhood that you live in on Skidaway Island. It's called the Landings.
Right.
Tell me about that.
The Landings is a planned community. It was originated in 1975. It's on Skidaway Island. It's less than 10 miles from downtown Savannah. It's bordered by the Skidaway and Wilmington rivers and the Atlantic Ocean, which is just a terrific environment, making it a very peaceful and natural setting. And I've lived there for 23 years now.
Wow. That's an accomplishment in itself. That means that you're having a pretty good time here in Savannah.
Definitely.
How would you describe daily life and sense of community there on the island?
Well, for everyone, it's going to be unique and different, but for me, and I think in common, there is a deep appreciation for nature. It is an Audubon designated island. It's remarkably calm and serene. Zen pervades, I guess is the way I look at it. However, the community is active, very active socially, and largely led by volunteers. Our homeowners association, led by people like Sherry Holdeman and Carl Stevens, have supported this vibrant lifestyle. There are over 20 volunteer organizations active on the island, and we have a little community center, a village center, with essential businesses like a grocery store and a pharmacy and a bank and so forth, some doctor's offices.
Okay, 23 years. That's quite an accomplishment. And you've given me a picture of a very scenic environment. Savannah charm is there. So tell me some of your favorite memories of life at the landings.
Well, without question, it's been my volunteer work that's made retirement so meaningful for me. I've had the opportunity to serve in many roles, both on the island or contributing to the island and to the greater Savannah community.
Could you share some of those contributions?
Sure, I absolutely. I've been deeply involved with several organizations. I will start with the Savannah Council on World Affairs, where I've been a member since 2015 and served as a director and also the president. And we've helped over that time and even before, since 1984, bringing distinguished speakers speaking on international affairs to Savannah once a month. We've supported over that time with scholarships Savannah State and Georgia Southern students who choose to study abroad. And so we award them scholarships to help them afford to do that. And we've even connected local high school and elementary schools to those scholarship winners when they're abroad to refresh the classroom experience as well.
I love it. I love it.
I have some more to tell you, though.
Tell me.
The Learning Center is a second area where I've spent a considerable amount of time. I've served on their advisory council supporting their programs for successful aging. I have been a love mentor tutor at Pulaski School, working with third and fourth graders on improving their math and reading skills. I've also spent a lot of time working with the Foreign Policy Association, based out of New York, with their Great Decisions program. I've facilitated, maybe for 8 years, multi-week seminars that we put on for neighbors to discuss key foreign policy issues. I've also helped raise funds for local not-for-profits through the Land Lovers Annual Flea Market. And finally, I've used my finance background to serve on audit and finance committees of our corporate association and club.
That is fascinating. I love a flea market. And I love that title for the program that you did, the mentor program, Love Mentor Tutor at the Pulaski School. This is very exciting. You brought a lot with you, and sounds like you kind of incorporated those things even though you didn't have these Southern roots.
Got them now.
Yes, it grows on you that way, right? It's quite a legacy of community engagement. We're part of that Bible Belt, right? Savannah falls in that part of the Bible Belt. So, our churches are very important to us. What role do churches or local institutions play in your life on Skidaway?
Well, there's no question that there's a strong spiritual and social fabric here in Skidaway. We have active Episcopal, Lutheran, and Baptist and Presbyterian churches located right on the island, and several other denominations nearby. away from the spiritual, many residents also belong to the Landings Golf and Athletic Club. This offers a lot of recreational activities and amenities. So in sum, I think it's a very well balanced life, but rich in connection and service.
Okay. Now, I like that name, the love program that you do with the Pulaski School. So that leads me to wanting to know a little bit more about what life is like for younger people on the island. Yes, you're a retiree, but I think that as Savannah grows and people are looking for other places to see what will fit for them, tell me a little bit about what life might be like for younger residents or families.
Sure.
On the island.
Well, since we moved there, families are increasingly moving in. I think especially due to the completion of the Truman Parkway and also the new Skidaway Bridge, which replaced an old drawbridge, which was always breaking down. Once those were done, the island started to change. Many more families moved from downtown Savannah or around Georgia, or around the country. And we have a lot of things that kids enjoy. I think one of the highlights is the University of Georgia's Marine Extension Aquarium on the island. The state park, Skidaway Island State Park, bike paths, nature trails, marinas, sports facilities, these are all in abundance out there. So it's a kid's paradise in many ways. And the community has certainly become more multi-generational since I first moved there.
I love that. Okay, looking towards the future, what do you hope people will remember about Skidaway Island, let's say 50 years from now?
Well, I think Skidaway will continue to evolve and probably into an incorporated town as it gets a little bigger in Chatham County, but will maintain its natural beauty, its commitment to community and service, and its close ties to Savannah, which make it even more wonderful since we're really just a 20-minute drive from anything in Savannah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to kind of wrap things up just a little bit now, and but I'd like to ask you for any final reflections you'd like to leave us with.
Well, I guess the bottom line for me is retirement has allowed me to stay engaged, give back, and stay connected. It's been broad, as we've discussed earlier, mentoring children, supporting global awareness, even helping our new neighbors move in and enjoy Savannah, get to know Savannah. Every bit has felt like a part of a greater purpose, and that's what it makes it home for me.
Okay. I know that you're a bit of a storyteller too. So I've heard what it means to you, and I like the fact that your wife and your children have become a big part of this community that you live in. 23 years, as I said, is quite a long time for someone who, without Southern roots, and you fit so wonderfully in things, and I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me and to share your stories, and to spend time today, and not only tell your personal history, but I want to thank you for helping people with their financial journey. You've taken the work that you've done, where you say over a 40-year career, and found ways to share that with all of us. So thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of Everyone has a story. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.